All right, so we're continuing on with our screencast on Emily Dickinson text notes from our poetry selections for this week. So we were talking about I felt a funeral in my brain. What is happening here is she is becoming very aware of a situation, almost like you're waking up after death and you coming to the realization that you can still hear. She says that sense was breaking through, where she is coming more and more alert and awake after passing, and she's hearing what's happening on the surface. Um, I think it's also interesting that she frequently misuses capitalization. It's a stylistic move and it's purposeful, but almost like they're proper nouns, like so they're people that she's encountering. I felt a funeral, almost like it's something that she's encountering, an entity, her brain that doesn't quite feel like her own self, her old self. It's like a new self, like a separate self. So I think that that's interesting to also kind of point out here. Okay, so when they were all seated, a service like a drum kept beating till I thought my mind was going numb. The drum here, it's personified as a separate being as well. It kept beating until she thought she was going to lose it altogether. She thought she was going to lose consciousness. Her mind was going numb. It's taking over her head. This new experience. So, in season 3, and then I heard them lift a box and creak across my soul with the same boots of lead again. Then space began to toll. So box here is that casket. She feels something creak across her soul, like some kind of awareness, like, oh, hey, this is my box and my funeral, obviously, that I am attending or experiencing. Um, that's why she can't see anything. She's realized that she can hear everything, but she can't see anything because she is currently inside the casket. Um, she's only kind of partly conscious of what's going on. She feels when they lift the box. Eh, we kind of figured that out maybe before she did there in that thing that poem already. She's being carried in her coffin to her burial place there, and those boots of lead that are carrying her across, um, the space began to toll. She can feel herself moving through space. Still can't see, but she's keenly aware of the boots on the ground and being carried, being lifted into the air. Okay, 4, as all the heavens were a bell and being but an ear, she is just an ear. She can only hear. Um, she in a sense that she hears heaven's bells. They're calling to her. She can hear that. Um, and she begins to hear that bell, that metaphorical bell. Um, she also realizes that that she's become something kind of strange. She says, "An eye in silence, some strange race wrecked solitary here." Um, she's no longer, I guess, human. Is that the word that I really want to use? Here, uh, she's wrecked, solitary, she's destroyed, she's alone, she's no longer herself. She's this new being, this new entity. So in that last stanza, and then a plank and reason broke, she has become completely aware of what's happening. That coffin was hers, that funeral was hers, the boots of lead were her pallbearers. She can't speak, she's silent because she's dead. She's blind because her eyes have been closed in death. That plank of reason is the she's completely aware, but also when you're lowering in a casket, there's a plank that goes in underneath your casket, and when it's pulled out, that's when the casket drops down into the earth. And so she is 100% aware, and it's actually kind of terrifying when you think about it, because it's a very terrifying description of death here. So she drops down and down and hit a world at every plunge and finish knowing then. That's confusion, panic, wonder, acceptance. You know, she's in her final resting place there. Okay, let's take a look at maybe a poem not about death. Let's see what we got next. Oh, hope is a thing with feathers. That's not about death. Hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea. Yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. Iambic trimeter just is the 6 syllables. Rhythmic flow is broken, all those dashes and breaks. A rhyme scheme is erratic, continuing here. She is an expert at metaphors. And the bird obviously is the little hope that weathers all the storms, the coldest of winds, the unknowns of seas, yet never demands anything in return. And its hope is what keeps us alive, essentially, continually lives within us and persists within us. And she uses a little bird that to represent what hope is, or represent hope, I guess I should say. So hope in the first stanza is a thing with feathers. It sings its own tune. It may not speak any specific language, yet it's certainly present within our souls. It's perched there. She voices that hope is an eternal spring. It never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard. There is no, hope the hope can be sweeter as the storm, or stronger as the storm gets mightier and more relentless. And that no storm can shake that hope, could abash the little bird that's kept it so warm and on the inside. Okay. In the last stanza, I've heard it in the chillest land. Even in the harshest of conditions, hope never demands return for its services. It's powerful. It needs no polishing. It never asks anything of us. So I think that that's a nice little twist, a nice little break from her other kind of more heavier poems there. All right, my life